Hello everybody, Forrest Mantis here again. Today I will do home review for this small guy, Blackjack 155. I already made outside video, so this one should be like before it. So I will stick the outside video after this home review because there is not so many details. And to be honest, I've been on a web page of Blackjack, and there is not really many informations about the knife. Basically, overall length and cutting edge and blade, sorry, which was not exactly because it is not really comparable. I will speak it a little bit later about. And what was there? And the steel which is made of this knife. That's it. There is no more information. So I believe that, Blackjack, I think there's knife, I'm not sure about it, but there's knife are made in Bark River. I think they had something in the history together, but I will not speak about it because I don't know it. But it looks like that, the grinding and everything, but it looks like, they're trying to be like serious knife sellers, which I'm expecting. Okay, if I'll go to your page and I'm trying to find some information about your product, I like to find there something, not just three informations. That's, I think, not really that much. For example, hardness, but we'll skip it and go for the knife. So we are talking about Blackjack 155. It is in neck knife category, so it's really small knife. Before I will start to talk about details, what for the knife, I think the Blackjack is excellent a company knife for, let's say, the cookery, or some bigger knife. So I'll show you just size comparison, how tiny, really tiny the knife is, just compared to the, I put it on the handle. Or this is T1 tracker, also very, put it on the I hope you see that, T1. And just for information, something in normal size, this is T3 model, so 14 centimeters blade, about 5.5-inch blade, so it's like normal size of the blade, is nothing huge on the knife. And the Blackjack is still really small compared to the knife. So just for purpose, why, for example, you would like to buy such a knife. Of course, it could be a great EDC because it is very light and, as you can see, is very small. So first time, speak about the sheet. It is made of Kydex. There is, see that, see that, this one. So this is the place actually which is holding the knife in after the corner. So, and I got the knife really long time, and there is still retention. There's still retention, so you can have it on your neck, and I don't think that there will be any problems with the knife. I don't like neck knives. I mean, to have a knife on my neck, I don't feel comfortable in that, but you can have it in your pocket very easily. It is very small, very light knife. So it is made in USA, I believe, by the company Bark River, in my opinion, but I'm not sure. It is made of 154 cm steel, which is, you can see it here. Yeah. As you can see, this is a clip point. And the thickness, which isn't on their page, thickness, I found it is 3.5 millimeters, as I measured it, 3.5 millimeters. And it's quite thick for such a small knife, but the tip is really tiny. So you can be really scared to break the tip if you will do any breaching or something like that, I believe you will break it. But if you use this such a small knife carefully, there probably will be no problems. Especially, I mentioned it, I think, in the forest. I'm using the knife for my leather work. So if I have a wooden table, so I will use the sharp tip to go through, and then I'm using this nice belly with the convex edge. That's important, I didn't say that. It's convex, and it is nicely sharp, and it's really nice. As you can see, my grip, I said I want small hand. My grip is nearly comfortable for 4 fingers. I'm there, but I got some spare place, I mean, on my finger, so I miss, let's say, 1 centimeter, so 0.4 about of an inch. I'm missing here, and I will be in full grip. So the grip is nice, I must say comfortable. And of course I can place my thumb here. There is a jimping, which for the feel is a bit aggressive if you go forward, but there are the places, so it's not like teeth. So, and the jimping is not deep, and that's why I think that the jimping is not uncomfortable. If it will be deeper, well, maybe we'll find something, you know, uncomfortable there. But you know, for how long you will use such a small knife? I'm not saying this is a crafting knife, but well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's we got the scales, which I will talk about a little bit later. If okay, I'll put it in this way: the knife you can buy is just the knife, and usually you buy it without the scales. The scales are coming from like outside, so you can buy them, but they are not in the package, and they said, like, you know, you don't need them, you know. They are actually, so I'll show you here. I'm on Amazon page. You can buy the knife like this one. There is this is red color. You can buy it in this black color, but you can see after using, the color is going out, which, you know, this is kind of coating. I don't know what is it, but of course after years the coating will be out anyway. Then you can buy it in a pinky, for example, for your girlfriend, if you like to. And there is red, one, black, white. There is a normal steel color, so silver, let's say silver. And that's important. You mustn't, but you can buy the scales, which are, by the way, this one, which are on my knife, this color. And of course you can have this black color. And the last one, as I know, these three is like, I don't know, light brown, I don't know how to call them. That's important. You got the hex key to fix it on your knife. But the problem is, firstly, what you see, okay, you got a blackjack knife for nice money. You got a convex 154 cm, nicely done knife with the convex, as I said, nicely comfortable. But without the scales, the knife is not really not that comfortable. If you got it as just about, you know, to open a letter, open a box, you know, do just this light EDC task, probably you will have no problem with it. You can put your paracord there and you'll be fine. But if you want to use it for extended time, which is always a question, what does it mean? Is half hour, 2 hours, you know? But I will say, if you start the knife using just in full time, 15 minutes following times without break, without the scales, then probably you will feel some uncomfortable things on your fingers or your palm or whatever, somewhere there, simply because the knife, as I said, is 3.5 millimeter thick with sharp corners, which is good for, I don't have maybe I did it outside, I'm not sure, for the fire rod if you need, but because the teeth here, jimping, I believe you can make sparks just because I feel them, they are sharp. I don't know, I can't remember if I did it, but it doesn't matter now. The problem is it will be sharp for your hand. And as I said, I got a smaller hand, so for someone who's got a big hand, he will maybe grab it in for with only 3 fingers, which is not big deal, but maybe for someone. Well, back to the point. So you will buy the knife without the scales, with the sheath and as a knife, and also you can buy the scales. The problem is that today, which is 21st of June 2018, there was a price for the knife 64 and half about US dollars plus minus, but the scales, just the scales, will cost you $42, which are for exactly these. That's was the one from the cheapest version, 42, and the other 2 versions cost you 44 US dollars. So you got 64 and half or 42, the cheapest, which is 2/3 of the price of the knife. Well, so these scales increase the price really much. Of course, the knife will cost you together, if I count it, there 64 plus 42 is 406 plus some changes there. So let's say 107 US dollars with the scale. So like this one, let's say. And is question if you are not jumping into different category of knives. That's a question. But what I want to say, and I started it, if you have just the knife in your hand, then the knife is done perfectly. I didn't find anything else. The convex was beautiful. It was sharp, excellent. I got the knife. I said a couple of years. I'm using the knife as on the table. I'm doing everything with it, as I open envelopes, open the boxes, even with my workshops, sometimes in the garden, if I do some small things there. It depends, but knife is done nicely, and it served me well. I'm using just usually using a steel to put a really sharpness there, but not really often. But for the scales, maybe you see that. Maybe you see that. See the black parts here. Let's say it looks like some cheap paint company. You can see it here. Some cheap paint company, I don't know how to say it properly, is making these scales for blackjack. What I want to say, it really looks like 2 different worlds of perfections meet on the knife. Knife, excellent. The sheath is not something super special, but it served well and it is nicely done. I mean, the contouring, there's no sharp points here, and knife sits there with retention still after the years. So I think this one is not something nice, but it served great. I mean, it's done. Somebody took care about that. All these corners are rounded nicely, so there's nothing wrong I can say for such a sheet, but not about the scale. Simply, it looks like the scales are not exactly, you can see them. You can see it here. I'll take this. See that? That's what I think. This is about 0.5 millimeters imperfections all around these scales. So, for the price, it is micarta. And for the small pieces, I don't know, it's 9 centimeters. There's nothing really, in material. And if I will speak about perfection for these knives, wow, I will say they are not really they are not worth $40 because for $40 you can buy so many complete knives. Well, it's some question for blackjack because the scales are overpriced. Some hint or tip for blackjack: forget all these. Let's say sell the knife complete. Just one. Okay, for 400. Okay, but let's do it properly and everything will be fine. Let's do it properly. For each knife will be nicely done. I can take it into my workshop and do it. I don't want it, I don't need it. But for the price, if I said 60 for such a knife, such a nice knife, and then 40 for that shitty made scales, I mean, if I'm comparing the quality, what's that? Why? In my eyes, it's not really a good like option for factory. Okay, but about the knife, I got the details. So 154, I didn't find any details how hard the steel is, so I got a question mark on HRC. 154 cm, as I said. The blade, they said the blade is 3 inches and 7.5 centimeters, which is, but not the real edge. You can find the information about the real edge, which is 2.75. 2.75, that's real edge, or 7 centimeters. So 7.5 or 7 and 2.75 or 3 inches. We got the overall length, which is 6.38 of an inch, or 16.3 centimeters. 16.3 centimeters. I tried to measure it. I found a little bit less. Oh, sorry, I recounted it, the numbers from inches to centimeters, and it should be 1.1 millimeter less, but it doesn't say anything really because my measuring equipments are maybe not exactly for the 1 millimeter. So let's say everything's fine because 1 millimeter is not a big deal for the knife. So it's a really short knife. About the weight, just the knife weighs 88 grams, 88 or 3.1 ounces. 3.1 ounces. Sheath weighs 22 grams, 20 or 0.8 of an ounce. Together 110 grams, 110 grams, or 3.9 ounces. I put it on the scale before this video, so these informations are really fresh, I can say. Just comparing, because we got all these details, just comparing with the Bark River Mini Aurora, which is in a price far away, but nicely done. That's something. Just the size. Bark River Mini Aurora is still very small knife. I think it's 10 centimeters or 4 inches handle, but I think it's a little bit less, 9.5, something like that, and 9.5 centimeters of the blade. So it's really a really small knife, really. And as you can see, the blackjack is even shorter, smaller, how you want to call it. I think significantly, you can see it really. There is 1 inch, definitely more than 1 inch. If I try the edge to edge, so you can see here. For the using, sometimes I'm using the ring here to secure the knife and use it this way. Not really, you don't really need it. If you do something, you can put the knife on your pinky, then do whatever you need, and then you can go back to your job. But this is just, you know, opinion. Compared to the other knife, which could be a neck knife, which is tracker T4, the smallest tracker. And as you can find, they are very close in size. The tracker is just few millimeters longer, but just few. And seems to me, yeah, it looks heavy, more heavier. I think this is over 100 grams, so that's why this 1/10, if I count it, is a little bit heavier than this one. And there's more meat, you can see there. About the price, the small tracker is, as I said, is very expensive, and if I'll count it into our money, if I'll take this one overall with the scales, and I'll take this one, this is plus, it's not double price, definitely not less. It's about plus 75%. So you can buy 1.75 these knives for this knife, which is, I don't believe that T4 worth it, but it doesn't matter. It's now about policy. But this is not point. Just what I want to tell you, how you can compare the knife with the size, with the weight. This is a little bit heavier, but just a bit. And if I'll take these two knives, how they are made, I'll take this one as a knife, because if I would speak about the handles, these handles are absolutely great, nicely done. This is crap. And this knife is nicely done also, but this knife can serve immediately with the convex and nice everything. You know, as you can see, I did some job on this one to have some kind of convex here. So this knife is serving a little bit better. So that's interesting, you know. Sometimes, you know, let's say the company which makes these blades will make these knives, so these knives will be better, I think much more better, I mean for using, and maybe more expensive. Well, it doesn't matter, but it's not question of this video. So the knife overall, Blackjack 155, I did already the work review, you will see it after this, and I will do some comparing for such a small knives. I mean, it is the smallest knife I have now, and I think I've ever had this knife. So that's something. My recommendation of the knife, yes, if you want to really small knife, really compact, very light, with a great performance for the size. Of course, rust resistant steel 154 is excellent choice. Convex helps you with the sharpening, so there's not really problem to make the knife sharp again. And if I say sharp, I really mean it, sharp. As I said, for the company of the big knives is great, or even for your skinning and everything, because the knife is excellent for it, or for your EDC and all these stuff. But if you got much more money, and I say much more money, then I'll go for our Mini Aurora, because CPM 3V is better steel. I think the Bark River, we can have more companies, but I'll talk about Bark River because I got their knife now. I got experience with them, and of course there is plenty of cheaper knives and which can serve you great. But let's say I'm going this a little bit high end, high standards. But Bark River Aurora, better steel, a little bit longer, which helps you with the grip, and they got plenty of options for these under 4 inches small blades. There is now so many, I love them really. It is just a bit heavier. This one weighs 94 grams, this one 88 grams, so 6 grams difference, guys. That's nothing. That's 1/4 ounce about. That's really nothing. So the weight is probably the same, very close. and it can serve you, I think, a little bit more, because simply the difference in the blade length is, you know, it is still under 4 inches. So I don't think if you break the law with this knife, I think the same way, so like in Great Britain they got a problem with this knife, I think this one will not match them also. So it doesn't matter if you got this one or this one for the law. And I will go for the Aurora, Mini Aurora, because it has the same pluses, which I want, even more. The steel and performance, a little bit longer blade and everything. But what is important, the Mini Aurora will cost you 2.5 these knives. And well, that's something. That's it for now. And let's go for the outside video where you can see how this knife can serve you. Thank you for now. Bye.